Hello, Pisces rising. This is Mandy Ray of Ecstatic Astrology here for your Venus retrograde and Leo forecast. And it's going to go from July 22nd through September 3rd. The shadow's a little longer, June 18th through October 7th. But I've got a handy graphic with all the dates on it. Venus is love, money, when you boil it down to the two simplest terms. But it's way more than that. It is also aesthetics. It's what is comfortable to us. It's what we're drawn to. It's what we want to receive. It's values. That's Venus. It's relationships, love and money. Easy way to say it all, right? So Venus is going retrograde. That means it is re-evaluating. Leo is our creative spirit. It's our purpose. It is what we want to create. It's inner child, children. It is love, romance. It is play and joy and fun. So let's look at where you have Leo. So this is kind of like a rebranding, like that's a good way to put it. For you, it's your sixth house. That's the way you work. It's routine, it's daily life, service, health, habits, healing, pets. This rules what you do for money, basically. Especially with Venus retrograde there, it can correlate to what you do for money. I guess work in the sense of what you do every day. And generally, we are working towards at least sustaining our lifestyles, right? So, Venus retrograde is a reevaluation of where we're drawn to. What is actually going to work for us? What is fun? What is creative? But also what sustains me. Now, Jupiter and Uranus are over here in your third house. Communication, decision making, thoughts, siblings, local community, short trips, and sacred spaces. Right here. So the third house is, I just love that it's also related to sacred spaces because it is all of the cadent houses. That's all of these four fixed signs for you are going to be about health, healing, spirituality, how you do things every day. It's spiritual, but it's also mundane. It's two sides to the same coin because our routines are our spiritual proclivities, basically. You know what I'm saying? So the third house is how we communicate, how we make decisions, the thoughts that we have. Jupiter is expansion. So learning something new, maybe communicating differently or communicating more. Uranus is change, it's shift, it's upheaval sometimes, it is unpredictable, it's revolution, it's freedom, flips the script. Uranus is there as well. With it being Taurus, this is a pretty steady place for you that, well, normally steady place, I should say, because now it is undergoing a shift and a change that it's not used to with Uranus there. So Taurus happens to be ruled by Venus. Let me erase these so as not to draw attention away. Taurus here, ruled by Venus in your sixth house of health, habits, healing, pets, routine, work. So these things are changing, what you're doing every day, your routine. By association, also your spirituality, 12th house, and your ninth house, belief and truth. But there's a little more going on than that. These are going to be in tension with one another. So something about the way you communicate or the way you are taking short trips or learning is a third house thing, teaching is a third house thing, but communication, this can be very social, but the way that you're doing that is changing. And it's in maybe a disconnect is a good way to say it, but it's in tension with this sixth house Leo. You want to be doing things that you are drawn creatively to do. How are these things maybe not matching up or changing one another? That might be a better way to look at it. Now, Venus is bringing gifts as well to the sixth house. Venus is a benefic, right? We may want more steadiness. Really, essentially, it's how do we value living? That's what this question is. Do we want to be secure? You could relate this to money with it being Venus. Do you like traveling? Do you not? Do you need to learn something new? Are you communicating more? Do you need a better routine? Do you need to express yourself in a different way? That's what this question is. But there's more, there's more, there's always more. The eclipses have moved. So we've got the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra now, which is your second, eighth house. These are the money houses. This is going to move some stuff, okay? South Node is what we're getting rid of. You're getting rid of being in emotional debt. That's the way I'm going to say it. The eighth house is uh, a place of debt. It can be a place of loss, but it can also be a place of shared resources, things that are other people's money, grants, loans, investments, taxes, sometimes your partner's money, contracts that you write. It's boundaries. That's another way I describe the eighth house. The South Node is wanting to be done with something there. We're redoing something, and we are really focusing in on second house material gain, and we are driven to get that. That is the head of the dragon: money, values, self-worth. So you just had Jupiter go through that area recently, which either could have been a bump or a way of finding meaning for what you actually want there. The North Node, the eclipse, is going to bring in more. These are related to Venus retrograde. Libra's ruled by Venus. There you go. Retrograde in your sixth house. I got to do the routine, the work differently. My health, my habits, my routine. And then the North Node is trine to Venus. That's support and opportunity. Sextile is opportunity, support. So we have an opportunity to do something differently every day. Basically, how do we monetize our movements in our daily life? That's what it looks like, and add to our material wealth. Which the North Node is ruled by Mars. So let's look at where Mars is. By the way, this is going to get out your calendars. I'm going to throw dates at you. Okay. I'm going to use the stamp for Mars. Mars is in Virgo right now. It will change. And it is in your seventh house of relationships. So July 20th, there was an opposition. Saturn's in your first house of self, identity. All right. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, Saturn is the rules. Saturn is obstacle. So there may be something about working alone that you are not interested in right now. Mars is pushing you toward relationship. There could be an obstacle to people feeling seen with Saturn here as well. July 20th, Mars opposed Saturn. That I did not like that. You know, it's on your angles. You may not have. This also affects the 10th and 4th house. Whoops, that should have been a line. Career and home by square. So Mercury is going to retrograde in this 7th house area. And this is Virgo. This wants to get it right and maybe get something settled here. The sun will also oppose Saturn in your first house. And I'll give you those dates. Right now, the sun's in Leo. That matters because Venus is in Leo. Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun's at home now in your sixth house of health, daily life, routine, and work. I'm going to refer to these things maybe in some shorthand. So just remember, you can always look here if I'm referring to sixth house, if I'm referring to third house, Taurus, and then all the rest are down here: second house, eighth house, first house, seventh house. Okay. So Mercury is also in Leo. That's going to be a question mark. And it's going to conjoin Venus tomorrow in your sixth house. So that looks like a good time to zero in with your mind on what this Venus retrograde is about for you. Reevaluating, rebranding yourself in a daily life way. I have a dry throat, excuse me. Now, the next day, so Thursday, the 27th, Mercury and Venus come together. The next day, though, Mercury moves into Virgo. So that's July 28th. I'm going to try to type stuff up here while I do this. July 28th. We got Mercury in Virgo. That's going to be 7th house relationship. So immediately it's going to try to oppose Saturn. I mean, it's applying is what it's called. But the 29th through 30th, actually through 31st, is really fortunate because Mars trines Jupiter. Am I right? Hold on, let me get my notes out. That's one thing I need to do. Moon and Sag. Oh, no, it's the North Node. I'm so sorry. I'm glad I stopped myself. The moon, which is going to be a heart, is going to be in your 10th house of career, and it's going to trine the North Node in your 2nd house of finances and Venus retrograde in your 6th house of work. So that's the 29th. That's really nice. And then it's the 30th and 31st that Mars trines Jupiter. With the moon in Capricorn as well. So we're going to put the moon, Capricorn. This is your 11th house of networking. So these are good days. And these are days I would pay attention to. Trine Jupiter, trine Mars, 7th house of relationships, 3rd house of communication, 11th house of networking and friend groups. Because this is going to be a really nice little treat in between some moments. Okay. So now we've got August 1st. Dun, 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 full moon in Aquarius. This is ruled by Saturn. So it's not just the full moon in Aquarius either. It is also, there's the moon, full moon, Mercury opposite Saturn, August 1st. July 20th was Mars opposite Saturn. August 1st, Mercury opposite Saturn. Mercury is our minds. Mars is our ego. Mars is passion. Mars is motivation. So it's making moves, and it had Saturn as an obstacle, but Mercury is more of how we learn, how we talk to one another, with it being in your 7th house of relationships. Saturn's in your 1st house of identity, self, independence, how you look, how you feel about yourself, how you project yourself. And Saturn is ruling the full moon. The full moon's in your 12th house of relax and retreat. But there is something here that's like, no, I still have to communicate with people and work towards something. I don't know. It's being in the 1st house, what is it that you're working towards for yourself? I think maybe is it to overcome this obstacle, right? To being seen the way you want to be seen. All right, so then we have August 6th, the sun squares Jupiter, 6th through 8th is what I say. This is about excess. And with it being in your 6th and your 3rd house, that could be excess busyness. And then August 8th through 10th is Venus square Uranus. Okay, so it's a big kind of square deal from your 6th house of daily life, health, routine, and work to your 3rd house of communication, siblings, thought processes, decision making. It's a very mental kind of transit as well, I would say. So the sun square Jupiter leads to excess. All right, I'm going to say August 6th through 10th. Excess, doing too much, being too busy, buzzing around, having so much going on. Venus square Uranus, something out of left field. Now, it could be good. Square is tension. Uranus is neither a malefic nor a benefic. It just kind of changes things. Venus is a benefic. It's retrograde. It's rethinking something or reevaluating something. So, I mean, this just could be a big feeling big time, basically. You're not flowing during this time. It feels like a lot. Not that there aren't things that will flow, but it can kind of feel like so much, I think, is really the answer. Gosh, you can tell I've done 11 of these, and I think my brain is fried a little bit. It's okay. It's taken me like 3 days, so forgive me if I'm like pausing and not really flowing. Speaking of not flowing, that's a good point right here. All right, so August 13th is the Venus star point. That's when Venus and the sun come together in your sixth house. Remember, that's over here. A star point is a really special moment. You can track them. 2015 was a Venus retrograde in Leo. 2007, 1999, 91, and 83 were former Venus retrogrades in Leo, if I have it correctly. Some involved a little bit of Virgo, though, so I don't know if every star point on those years, but it's going to still sync up with the theme. But the star point is a moment of awareness. It's the start of a new thing. You know, Venus is retrograde. It's meeting the sun, the king. It's an audience with the king. So there is a definite awareness August 13th, which is listed up here, by the way. All right. Now, August 15th, 16th, and 17th. All right, we got Mars trine Uranus. That's a big deal. And then we have new moon in Leo. And this is square Uranus. All right. So we have the moon. I'm going to put it with a stamp. That's the moon. New moon in Leo, square Uranus, and your third house over here. Thoughts, siblings, communication. Starting a new cycle, but something over here in the way you communicate and the way you do things. I mean, it's changing. You are pivoting. And then you got Mars trine Uranus at the same time. That's support. In fact, I should use a blue line because it's good, or a green, like green light. That's what it is. It's supportive. So your relationships and your local community communication, all this third house stuff, are working together. Maybe it's very social. You're able to navigate things, but you're very busy. The Mars trine Jupiter is a good thing. It's motivation. It is physical. It's doing a lot. Being in your seventh house, it might be doing a lot. You know what I mean? All right. All right. Where are we at now? August 22nd. That's listed over here. That is Venus square Jupiter. See, we're just getting squares again. That should be red. From this house to this house over and over. It's a process. Venus square Jupiter is a little more twinkly. Squares are tension, but Venus is a benefic, reevaluating this creative space and how we want to live every day and our health. And Jupiter is expanding our minds and communication, and maybe we're learning things and we're doing new things. But there's somehow just a lot of each. And so you can spend a lot of money during these times. So just be aware of Venus square Jupiter times, right? It's a little extra, a little extra. Then August 23rd, we got a big deal here. Big deal. Let's draw the sun. The sun's going to move into Virgo, and something else happens in Virgo, August 23rd. Sun in Virgo and Mercury retrograde. Oh my gosh, retrograde. So it's a lot of question marks. Mercury retrograde. There we go. August 23rd. So Leo is ruled by the sun. So the sun moving into your seventh house of relationships, Venus retrograde may take on this as a flavor of what it's reevaluating: relationships, friendships, people you work with, clients, things of that nature, how you interact with them. And then I'm just looking for when. Yes, so the 27th. The sun opposes Saturn. And then August 30th. Oh, well, and then Mars enters Libra that same day. And then August 30th is a full moon in Pisces. So let's go over this. Highlight it in case you can't see it. It's really hard to do this. I'm sure there's a better way, but I'm learning. I'm learning, you know? Okay, so first, Sun opposite Saturn. Remember, we had Mars opposite Saturn July 20th, then Mercury opposite Saturn August 1st. Now we're at August 27th. It's the Sun, and the Sun is ruling Venus retrograde. So this may also feel a little oppressive, a little responsibility. People are looking at me to do things, perhaps to get the work done. Saturn as well, also being seen, also identity, also relationships. And then the full moon is there, so we can do this. Full moon. So it still has that Saturnian influence. There's a lot of work to be done. Even work on myself. It could be work on your image. I mean, it's just so many things, how you put yourself out there. And then Mars in Libra enters your 8th house. The 8th house stuff is down here. South node in Libra. Right, because the South node's there too. That means Mars is going to hit the South node. Shared resources, other people's money, investments, contracts. Mars is taking a look at it. What does our ego think? Some interesting times around this. Sun opposes Saturn, Mars enters Libra, full moon in Pisces. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because I know where we are and I like it. Where we are is September 3rd, which is the end of Venus retrograde. Yes, look at that. September 3rd, y'all, we have reached it. Okay, so Venus no longer retrograde. It's moving direct in your 6th house. Now, if things did change that you don't really want to keep around, Venus direct will probably get rid of it. This is a time period of trying it out, seeing what pulls on the heart, right? Doing it differently. September 4th, Mercury trines, Mercury retrograde, excuse me, trines Jupiter. That's going to be really nice. Relationship, social, but Mercury retrograde is rethinking some relationships, don't forget. So this could be a different approach to how you communicate in a relationship or what a relationship means to you. And that is September 4th, just after Venus goes direct, okay? So then we get to another one that I really like. September 6th. So let's say September 4th through 8th here. Because you get Mercury retrograde trine Jupiter. Look, that could expand the retrogradiness. Okay, I can't like promise that whatever's going wrong won't just get bigger. But I hope not, because we're supposed to be rethinking. So different approaches, organize, get it together, get your routine in sync. Like, I hate to be a preacher on that, but that's really what it is. Okay, so we have Mercury RX trine Jupiter. Then we have Mercury Cazimi, which is Mercury and the Sun coming together in Leo in your 7th house of relationships, which is also still trine Jupiter. And then Sun trine Jupiter all through this time period. Okay, September 4th through 8th. So it's just going to be one giant trine from the 7th house to the 3rd house. I like that. I think it's going to really clear up some things. The Mercury Cazimi on the, what is it, the 6th is a time of clarity in your 7th house of relationships. So to your 3rd house of communication, maybe you really get clear the air on something. And then another one I really like, September 14th, new moon in Virgo. And this one is trine Uranus, which is supportive, not tension. And then Mercury stations direct. So this is a good day. All right. So we have new moon. It's actually in later Virgo. And then by this time, Mercury is direct. So we're going to switch them. I like to visualize this. The sun's moved over here. The moon's over here. It's a new moon. And Mercury is now one question mark. And it's an early Virgo now. They switched places. They met September 6th, switched places. And now Mercury's direct and the new moon is trine Uranus. So good. That's a green line. It's really awesome. Okay, so this is a new seed planted, maybe a new relationship forged in your 7th house. And it's supported by changes to the way you communicate, to local community, to the way you think, your thought processes, all of this stuff over here. It's benefiting from the change. It's benefiting from the revolution, the freedom. All right, now what we got? I love that new moon. It's just like do something that sets things in motion. Okay, it's a good one. It's kind of opposite Neptune, but I'm not really worried about that. I just gotta be, clear. September 15th through 18th is what I have as the dates on either side of the Venus square to Jupiter. Again, watch your pocketbooks, excess, maybe busyness. Venus is direct, Jupiter's retrograde now. So it's kind of a little switch. Venus kind of actually gets it together and knows maybe where it's drawn now, so it can better direct itself. Jupiter takes a break. We're not really so hardcore in the search for meaning. It's more internal now. But definitely watch for excess, watch for doing things too quick with love or money. And then we've got Sun trine Pluto. That's a time of empowerment, relationships, and networking and large groups of people. Good time for that. That is September 21st. And then the 23rd, the sun moves into Libra. That is also known as the equinox. So let me go ahead and write that up here. I'm going to take a drink. All right, we got the sun in Libra now, Mars later in Libra, and also on September 23rd, Mars is close to trining Jupiter again. So September 23rd and 4th. Sun in Libra. Equinox. All right. 24th. Mercury trine Jupiter. Okay. So September 23rd, sun moves into Libra. The sun is now informing Venus from Libra. And they are in mutual reception. The sun's in Venus's home. Venus is in Libra's, the sun's home. So 8th house, shared resources, other people's money, all this stuff over here. South Node in Libra area. Right there. Shared resources, other people's money, investments, inheritance is informing what you do for work somehow. Mercury trine Jupiter is relationships to communication again. That's the 3rd trine. 28th or 29th. I think I have 29th over here. So I have to cover it up with my notes, so it's hard to see, but I'm pretty sure I have the 29th right here. This is Venus square Uranus. Venus is direct, Uranus is retrograde. So the health, wellness, 6th house area gets a boost from Venus direct. And Uranus now has to go, maybe I need to shift to an internal change now, okay? I'm going to kind of rethink what I'm doing, what I'm changing. It's really a distilling time is what a retrograde is. We distill it. Venus is direct, making moves in your 6th house now. But it's still Could be a little unpredictable. And then September 29th is full moon in Aries. We'll use a red line. Why not? It is Aries. Put the moon over there. I love using the heart as the moon. Okay. This is your second house of finances. This is unaspected. I really like this. Don't necessarily like that Mars is in Libra because Mars does not like being in Libra. Mars is the warrior. It's in the sign of peace, right? Mars is something, though, I think when it hits the South Node, it may bring up exactly what we need to let go of in this 8th house area. Whoops. Boundaries, shared resources, empowerment, disempowerment, contracts, what's not working for us there. That's going to happen. So this is September 29th. Full moon in Aries. And Mars in Libra is ruling that. When does Mars hits the South Node October 23rd exactly, I believe. So it's pretty close at this time to exactly with the South Node. So this will definitely bring up eclipse themes, okay? What you're letting go of, what you're starting. The full moon is really highlighting both, I think, because not only do you have Mars at the South Node, what you're letting go of, 8th house, but you've got the full moon in the area of the North Node. It's just ping-ponging back and forth. But really, the thing to look at is Venus and the Sun in mutual reception. It's 8th and 6th house together right now is what this is about. So September 29th, 6th house being work, service, health, pets, routine, 8th house being empowerment, disempowerment. Is one affecting the other, right? Am I asking for enough? Am I sharing it with the right people? Is this contract empowering to me? Is the pay empowering to me? I know what I'm doing now in my 6th house. I have a routine. I have the way I work down. I got this. And maybe I'm making money at this full moon, right? September 29th. All right. Then we got October 1st through 3rd. Love it. Love that. That one's going to be good, I think. Venus, trine, North Node, and South Node, and Mars. Now, it never exactly sextiles Mars. So this is a sextile, by the way. So Venus is sextile. That's opportunity. Let's make opportunity pink. I think opportunity is pink. And let's make support blue. Venus is trine the North Node, okay? So this is Venus in your 6th house of work and daily life and health, supporting development here in your 2nd house of material gain and wealth and values and self-worth, and opportunistically sextile Mars in the South Node, what you're letting go of in this 8th house. What contract are you redoing? Or what grant are you getting? Who's your benefactor? That could also be the thing. Or do you need to make room for another benefactor? I mean, it's really very, very interesting. And then October 7th, Venus is out of shadow. And then October 9th, Venus moves into Virgo. And we're at the end of it. But let me tell you this, October 9th, as soon as Venus moves into Virgo, let's pretend that's Venus. It's going to oppose Saturn. So that may be a ho-hum time when Venus moves into Virgo, okay? So that's relationships to identity. That's October 9th when Venus moves into Virgo. October 10th, let's give it a wider orb. Could even be October 8th, just before, and October, I would just say 8th and 9th and 10th, 8th or 10th. Kind of seemed like a bummer. But once we get past that, we're actually okay for a minute with oppositions to Saturn, that is. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back with another video long before you need it, I promise, because I know how long they take now, and I know exactly how to figure out how to do my time. It's been an adventure trying it this way. I hope it's well received. Thank you, Pisces. I hope this helps guide you for the next couple months. I'll be back with the eclipse talk, which October 14th and October 28th are the next two eclipses. And then we've got way different stuff coming in November and December. So I'm going to talk about that in one video, let you guys have it all. Maybe I'll come for some updates that are quick in between. I hope you made it through, and feedback is good too. I can keep doing the chopping it up, but this Venus retrograde was so related to like everything coming up. It seemed like a good thing to do. Just get it out of the way and then try to create differently. Venus is retrograde for me too, right? All right. ecstaticastrology.com. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you have any questions or feedback. And if you want to book, go to my website, ecstaticastrology.com. Catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much.